Imagine living next to someone who hates you so much. They call the police on you over and over again for doing absolutely nothing wrong. Every knock at the door makes your stomach drop, until one day the tables turn and the cops aren't there for you anymore. They're there for them. If you've ever had a neighbor from hell, you know the frustration of feeling trapped in your own home. Today's story, it's about sweet, undeniable justice, the kind that makes you grin for days. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll hear this week. It was the early 2000s. I was 24 years old, renting a small one-bedroom apartment in a creaky old building with 18 units. Honestly, calling it apartments was generous. It felt more like a glorified cardboard box with some bricks glued on for decoration. Every step in the hallway echoed like a drum. Every cough from the neighbor's place was crystal clear. On one side of me lived a young couple who mostly kept to themselves. On the other side was an elderly couple. At first, I thought they were just quiet, reserved people who liked their peace. But I quickly learned that peace meant their version of peace. And if I didn't fit into it, I'd pay for it. One Saturday night, I was watching a movie. Volume? Normal. Not blasting music, no subwoofers rattling the walls, just enjoying my weekend. Then, bang, bang, bang. 3 sharp knocks on my door. My stomach dropped when I opened it to find 2 uniformed police officers standing there. "Sir, we've had a noise complaint from your neighbor," one said, his voice calm but firm. I was confused, even a little embarrassed. You can come in if you want. I'm literally just watching a movie." They stepped inside, listened for about 10 seconds, and one of them gave me this awkward half smile. "Yeah, that's not really excessive, but maybe just turn it down a notch. Keep the peace, you know?" I agreed because I didn't want trouble. But as they left, I noticed the old lady peeking through her door, her eyes locked on me like she was proud of what she'd done. It didn't happen once or twice. It happened a dozen times. Sometimes it was a Friday night when I had friends over, talking at normal conversation levels. Sometimes it was a quiet weeknight when I was listening to music while cooking. And every single time, bang, 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 there they were. The police. Every single time. They walked in, found nothing wrong, and politely suggested I just turn it down a little. I started feeling paranoid. Was I doing something wrong? Was I being inconsiderate without realizing it? I even borrowed a decibel meter from a friend to check, and nope. I was well within normal limits. This wasn't about noise. This was about her control. The 12th time it happened, I was done. The officers had just told me, again, that there was no violation. And as I stood there, frustration boiling in my chest, I finally asked them, "Look, is there any way to stop someone from wasting your time like this? I mean, isn't there a law against calling the police over and over for nothing?" They exchanged a look. One of them shrugged. "Well, if someone keeps making false reports, technically, yeah, there can be consequences." The other one nodded slowly, like a light bulb was turning on in his head. "We'll keep that in mind." Weeks went by. No knocks, no flashing lights in the hallway. At first, I thought maybe she'd just gotten bored, but then the janitor, a friendly guy who was always up to date on building gossip, stopped me in the hallway. "You hear about your neighbor?" he asked, grinning. "No. What happened?" "She was bragging to me a while back about calling the cops on you, but last week, she told me she got hit with a huge fine for false reporting." I froze. "Wait, huge?" He nodded. "Couple hundred at least." And she was fuming about it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a wave of satisfaction wash over me. For months, she'd made me feel like a criminal in my own home. She'd turned peaceful nights into moments of dread, Every knock had been a spike of anxiety, wondering if this time it would escalate into something worse. And now, the universe had balanced the scales. The next time I saw her, she avoided eye contact. No smug glances, no whispered comments to her husband as I walked by. Just silence. This wasn't just about money. It was about the principle. She thought she could weaponize the system against me. Instead, she ended up punished by the system she tried to exploit. And the best part? I didn't have to lift a finger. Just survive it long enough for karma to catch up. Sometimes the best revenge is the one you don't have to orchestrate. You just plant the seed, in this case with one simple question to the police, and let nature take its course. False accusations might seem harmless to the person making them, but eventually, the truth has a way of sending the bill. If you've ever had a neighbor like this, you know how good it feels to see justice finally served. Drop your worst neighbor story in the comments. I want to hear them. And if you enjoyed this tale of karma in action, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.